Hey y'all, the next video that you're going to watch is one of my favorite RV tours that we've done yet. It's a 1948 Greyhound bus that has been completely renovated. Check this out.
We are the Peoples family. In March of 2021, we made some big changes in our lives to trade in our home of 3,500 square feet in Ohio for a 400 square foot house on wheels. And we set out on the road in March of 2021. So here is to our journey that is not about all the things, but is more about all the people and all the places. I'm Ashley.
I'm Rob.
I'm Ellie. I'm Abby. And I'm Emery.
And we're the Peoples.
My name's Greg, and this is a 1948 Greyhound. They were made by GMC, and so you can see me and my wife took about a year to restore this thing. We had stripped it all the way down. We had spray foamed the whole thing with closed cell spray foam, and then slowly did kind of birch panels in here, built it out. My wife made these curtains too. It's a material called warm weather. It works really well, whether it's heat or cold that you're trying to keep in the rig. These things are a phenomenal addition.
Can you tell me about your fridge?
Yeah, so we run, this one's an IceCo. There's several different brands that make this one, but this one's got a great compressor. It's done very well. This one's a dual zone one, so we have a fridge and a freezer here, and it only pulls about 4 to 5 amps while it's running, which, you know, you count that out about half the time. So it's very low draw overnight versus a regular one, and when you of course open the door, you're not losing a lot of your cold air.
Yeah. Do you use this often? Your stove?
We do. So it's got to be pretty cold to actually use. Even as tiny as this little baby wood stove is, when we use that thing, it'll heat it up to almost 80 degrees when we're below freezing.
Really?
And I use compressed wood, so we have these. It's actually just compressed sawdust, and you can find those at like Tractor Supply. A lot of camping places will carry those little small compressed bricks, and they burn phenomenally in there.
Interesting. Can you take us into the kitchen area and tell us more about this amazing
It's
piece
obviously
of furniture?
Yeah, obviously we haven't put stuff away. It's a complete mess
That's
in here,
okay.
but we mainly cook with an induction cooktop. It's super efficient, and so this one we can control the wattage, and so we have about 2,600 watts on the roof, and we can run pretty much everything off of one section of those things. So each section, is 1,300 watts, and we have them angled. That way, depending on what time of day, one section's always kind of rocking and rolling.
Because you mainly boondock.
We do.
Right?
We boondock the majority of the time, and that's why we carry large tanks too. But yeah, that's.
And how much water can you?
So we
hold?
carry 100 gallons water and then 100 gallons gray. We don't have a black tank because we do have a composting toilet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you built this out for your daughters?
Yeah, I did. I built this out for the girls. I've got two girls. They're both teenagers, and so we have the little rock climbing wall here, and one girl crashes up here. And yeah, you can see this is our inverter right here. We just have a 3,000 watt pure sine wave inverter. The system's super simple too. How I wired our system is like we actually hardwired this for the 30 amp down below in the basement. And so when we want to plug in somewhere, like we either take our shore power cord and plug into, say we're at a campground right now, where we plug into that shore power, or we take that same cord and we plug it into our generator, which has a 30 amp on it. And then if we want to run off of our inverter and we're out boondocking off of just solar alone, we have that 30 amp down there, and we plug in right off of the inverter. Super simple, and you don't have to worry about transfer switches. You don't have to worry about messing something up or running two things at the same time.
Wow. And now how do you work from your rig? Is this like the area that you guys just
So that's actually that's my girls' schooling area right there, and so they'll have their laptops set up, and they'll kind of move the ottomans around, and one will sit on one side and one will sit on the other. And now me and my wife actually work from our back bedroom, and you can see like we're obviously big nerds about copper. This was like one of our little science experiments. We used different medias to kind of etch the copper. We did it on our little back wall there too.
That's cool.
And so to get this cool green patina, if anyone's ever wants to mess with copper, it's actually Miracle Grow. Yeah, we used like red wine vinegar. We used a bunch of different vinegars, salts, and stuff. But yeah, Miracle-Gro gives you that like super cool green patina on copper.
That's really cool. And you have a projector.
We do, yeah. We use the Nebula, which I highly recommend this thing. It's actually liquid cooled, and so it runs a little coil in here of copper, and then so it's not loud. You know, some of them you have a fan that kicks on, and it's super noisy. This thing's crazy quiet. Yeah, we just pull down our projector screen, and then when we're gonna go outside, we just literally spin this thing off of here, walk outside, set it up out there, and do movies outside.
That's cool.
Awesome. I was really impressed with your bathroom that you built for your wife.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see if we can fit back here, huh?
You said like a Japanese tub?
Yeah, so this is called an ofaru, or a Japanese soaker tub. And so we did the backsplash just out of copper here, and then I did a marine grade epoxy right here, and all the corners are fiberglass too, so that we don't have to worry about any type of leaking or anything like that. And it's on a continuous hot water loop. That way my wife can hang out in there and the thing will stay warm the whole time.
So how does a composting toilet exactly work?
So a composting toilet? Have you ever seen one before?
I mean, we've
Heard about them, but we've never actually seen them.
Yeah, check this bad boy
and then they're
out.
more efficient for boondockers.
They are, yeah. So this one is the Nature's Head right here. And the one thing I would always recommend, especially if there is more than like 2 people, is to always plumb your urine diverter into the gray tank. Because so that is like, I would say that was my biggest concern about this thing, is that it comes with such a little tiny urine bucket, and having 4 people in here, you were emptying that thing like every day, and that was kind of the gross part.
Okay.
And so since we have the big gray tank down below, we went ahead and diverted that thing in there, and that's probably the hardest part. The rest of so how a composting toilet works is it actually has 2 parts. It has a part that separates the urine and it separates the solids.
Yeah.
And so the solids go into a part that has media in there. We use cocoa core. I find that's kind of the best. And so in the back there, you load your cocoa core up and you kind of just use the restroom like you would. And there's a little handle over here. That handle spins kind of a little auger type thing in here, and that's going to mix things up into the cocoa core. There's a fan in here. Just this little simple fan. You can kind of see this vent tube running out here. That actually runs up and above our RV. It pulls air from this side. It dries out everything in the air and runs it up, because it's technically not sewage until the 2 things meet together.
Okay.
And so then, and oddly enough, like I'm sure you guys can see, there's really no smell from it at all.
Not at all.
And when you go to change this thing out, it literally smells like dirt. It doesn't really smell like anything crazy or gross. Yeah.
That's less gross than what we're dealing with sometimes.
Yes. Oh yeah. I've seen people where they have like their black tank overflow, and I'm like, I think I'll go ahead and stay with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see I'm big into the nautical thing. This is a old, a cool little mirror here that we like.
This is awesome. And you like your coffee grinder you got back there really good.
Yeah, a lot of our
proud of that.
a lot of our stuff is vintage. Yeah, the coffee grinder's from 1909. I guess I can turn on some lights back here.
And I noticed you have a washer dryer unit too.
Yeah, we do. We run a little bitty washer, and then we do have a vented dryer back here too. We actually, when we first hit the road, we would go find laundry mats and stuff. But with kids, it's kind of a game changer having a washer and a dryer.
Do you do that while boondocking, or only when you're like hooked into?
So we can do it boondocking. We'll do it just one time. Like say we're staying a week out, we'll do 1 load, and that's it while we're boondocking, and then we'll wait until we get back. This thing, luckily, like you probably see, I actually measured it out. Actually, of how many gallons each load will take. Like so.
Oh, wow.
So if we do like a half load, and I'm doing like medium level, it's 6 gallons of water, which isn't too bad. But it goes through that cycle twice, so it's technically 12 because it does like a wash cycle and then it does a rinse cycle, and so that's why we only do it, like I said, the one time, like in between out boondocking.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
And then my wife works right here, so she does billing and coding. And so she has to have a kind of the sideways mounted monitor there. It works out best for her.
And you're a nurse.
I am, yep. I'm a nurse and I do anemia management, and so I kind of do my little job over here. I like standing up because to me it's a little.
Very cool.
Well, thank you for the tour. Your house is awesome. I really love it.
Have you ran the AC at all today?
We did in the middle of the day. We ran the AC.
Gosh, it's like really comfortable in here.
It is.
Yeah, it stays super cool. Matter of fact, we can freeze it out because like it's such a, when you think about it too, it's a lot less cubic footage to cool because it's such a small space and the curved ceilings. And then since everything is the foam, it's super quiet in here too. Like you can't really hear anything outside. That
No.
closed cell foam works amazing for sure.
Is there anything you want to share about like how you hook up your VW bug to your rig?
No, the VW Bug's super simple. They tow, they have like a front solid beam on them, and so the tow bar literally just clacks up on that beam and sits on it, and it's any of the strictest states are like 2,000 pounds. The VW Bug weighs about like 1,600 pounds. So even in the strictest states, you're legit to tow it without brakes or anything. And the bus weighs about 22,000 pounds, so we're never too really concerned about pulling our little 1,700 pound or 1,600 pound bug behind it.
And do you have a lot of storage underneath?
We do, yeah. There's basements underneath, and that's where a lot of the kids' toys go. Yeah, a lot of our stuff is under there too. All the barbecue stuff.
That's cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Is there anything else that you want to share?
Yeah, that's probably.
All right. Thank you.
Cool.